Hello, and welcome back to our weekly podcast where we talk about dad's life and maybe gaming. Well, most of the time, gaming and less of dad life. But I'm your host, back again for another week. I have a stressful week. And this week we got our usual panel.
I am Inigo Montoya. You have killed my father. Prepare to die. What's up? It's Mikey, guys.
It's Jay, Crypt Nurse, back again.
Woke up your nap a little early.
I'm just
At
going to
least
warn
I woke
everybody,
up.
we are all in a mood. This is going to be a fun one.
We won't go on my mood because, let's not make me angry anymore. But,
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
we got a good episode for you today. But as always, first off is our hyper jump nerd moment.
Traveling through hyperspace ain't like dusting crops, boy.
All right. So, not too much of a one for you guys today, but Polka Weekend at GameStop this weekend. It is a play and trade event. You go in, you buy products, you can trade, play. They got stuff you need to do, and they have very exclusive deals, quote unquote. Royal Tutor OVA is live now on Crunchyroll, and I'm assuming a bunch of others, but it's the only one I pay for. So check it out. It's really freaking good. Fruit Basket is having screenings early this spring and is looking for a pretty decent release date fall 2019 season. The Poke Video app, the Pokemon has announced, is up and running. They are pushing out generations, and the latest one has been Hoenn. PewDiePie has hit Mythic rank on Magic the Gathering Arena with the latest point that I saw being a 93%. So he is aiming for the Mythic Invitational. So keep an eye on that. And on a sad note, Reggie Fils-Aimé is retiring from Nintendo. All the best luck to you, Commander.
Oh man,
And that
no
is your
way.
news minute. Yep, Reggie is retiring. The guy from Microsoft, Mr. Bowser, I want to say he's going to be taking a spot.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but okay.
But Reggie's
Okay.
always been like your fun uncle that comes to visit once a year, man. I can't imagine it without him.
Not just that, his opening statement at E3 when he was first elected president of American Nintendo. I am Reggie Fils-Aimé. I'm here to kick ass. I'm here to take names. And we're going to talk about some awesome video games. That was his opening statement as president at E3.
And he's always had some of the best directs too.
Sure, to say the least. I mean, Eagle Raptor, Aaron Hansen of the Game Grumps, was on stage with him, and they played it out in, I believe it was either Smash or the Nintendo Collection. And even though Eagle Raptor won, Reggie looked at him and said, "Yeah, okay, kid." So it is a big loss, but with Bowser, and that is his actual legal last name is Bowser. I'm assuming coming in to fill that position, it could be good, but then again, if you guys literally look up Bowser, Microsoft, there's a picture of him with Mario and Luigi tied up with a Nintendo GameCube controller on the shelf.
Oh, so he's got some.
I think it's a hint at something, but we don't know yet.
But that's good that he's playing along with it, kind of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, Reggie's retiring, and he is stating he wants to focus on him and his family. And after such a long career, it's very understandable.
Yeah. Well, like we said before, we got some good topics. A lot of them that I've dug up some, and it's been traveling on the internets. But I'll go ahead and let somebody else take the first stab. I want to spread my stuff out.
All right. So I'm putting this out there right now. And this is to everyone. everyone saying Shaggy should be in Mortal Kombat 11. Stop it. Just stop it right now. And I actually did heavy research for this. Now, many people are saying, oh, Shaggy's power level is so high, oh, all this stuff. No, every instance that you see from the cartoon to the movie where he has gained some quote-unquote superpower has either been hypnosis or possession. Now, in the movie, he gets possessed, and his muscles grow because he is super strong. In the cartoon, he is actually under hypnosis while he fights that biker gang and ain't even himself. Now, I'm going to list off 2 characters in the Mortal Kombat universe that could very well, beat Shaggy's ass to a pulp.
You really don't like this, do you?
Hold on, because I will answer questions at the end. Even with his quote-unquote superpowers, they could kill Shaggy without even blinking an eye. And the first one I'm going to point out is Ermac, controllers of the souls of the damned. Now, yeah, Shaggy, as everyone says, could slap a chicken into cooking, 3,175 miles, 0.25 miles per hour. He could slap a chicken and make it cooked. Well, that's if he's possessed. And what does Ermac control? That's right. Ghosts. Souls of the damned. One little snap of his finger, and no more powers for Shaggy. And a broken neck. Oh, Mike, but what if he was hypnotized? I mean, you all saw that little clip of him fighting that biker. No, because let me introduce you to my friend Shane Sun. He can gain the powers of anyone he sees. He collects souls of those who are defeated. So while Shaggy's over there doing whatever he does, Shane Sun's getting stronger and stronger. And now all he has to do is look at Shaggy and has his power plus the power he gained from his fallen enemies. Dead. And not to mention, Ermac also has a little bit of control over souls, which could be labeled as hypnosis, so he could just hypnotize Shaggy again. Dead. All you little shits saying Shaggy needs to be in Mortal Kombat. Stop it.
Well, I brought up something that was quite unique and tasteful, is like introducing Xena into Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, and it's hella capable because they have the template of Wonder Woman over in Injustice, and it'd be no problem. I mean, Xena has the I forget what it's called, but the throwing ring, and as we all see,
Chakra.
Wonder Woman has the chakra. Yeah, and Wonder Woman throws her head back. It's the same mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that'd be an easy do. Hercules would be an easy do. I mean, in the last Mortal Kombat,
Hercules is Marvel. No, wait, Hercules is DC, isn't he?
I think he's both.
I mean, they could even throw Lucifer Morningstar, literally Satan himself, into Mortal Kombat.
I think it just... I don't know. I haven't heard much about it since they actually officially declined it.
Because Shaggy's a wimp and is going to die.
Okay, I just gotta put this out there to be devil's advocate. Shaggy's special move is when he hits a quarter health or less, he sits down, pulls out a bong, takes an epic rip, blows it in the face, the other guy sits there stoned out of his gourd, and Shaggy just wails on his head.
Well,
do you think that they could make like a skin for somebody like that? Different sets.
if they really wanted to, I guarantee you they'd put it on Johnny Cage. If he's still alive, which I don't think he is. I think his daughter is, but I don't think Johnny Cage is. He lost his powers at the end of Mortal Kombat X.
Just one of those like community things with a different moveset, because they give like each character like 3 different movesets, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all you little kids, just stop. I mean, come on. Nightwolf would take down Shaggy. Come on.
The things that trigger Mike.
I was gonna say, Mike, you feeling a little bit of salt about this, or?
No, I'm just sick of seeing it. That's literally 100% it. And like I said, I went in, I looked at what everyone is talking about. No, just stop it. He doesn't have any legit powers except being a hippie.
And eating. He can unhinge his jaw to eat.
Yes, let's all introduce great CGI into. Shut up.
I was talking about the cartoons, man. I grew up with the cartoons.
I grew up with the cartoons too. I remember watching Hanna-Barbera Hour and everything.
Even though the crappy kid version of them.
You know what's funny though? Even as a kid, I always thought he was high.
Yeah.
The dog's name is Scooby Dooby Doo.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I never sat there and was like, oh, he's just a goofy guy. That's like, I had family members that smoked pot around me my whole life, and I'm just like, that dude is stoned.
Yeah.
So, speaking of being salty, like Mike, I'm very glad I didn't really jump the gun and buy Anthem. Like, I was on the fence because it looked good, it has some good mechanics to it, but everybody that I've heard, seen, you go on YouTube and just type in Anthem on YouTube, and it was like the first 30 videos or how bad it is, and apparently it's very repetitive.
It is a Destiny grind fest, straight up.
I mean,
that is all I'm hearing.
I mean, it was in Germany. They already have it on sale or something. Did you see that picture too?
€40. That's it. And that's about, I want to say, 45 to 47 bucks here. And at the same time, in Germany or wherever over there, they're giving away Fallout 76 for free. Sorry, Jay.
If you buy a $5 set of thumbstick replacements for a controller.
Yep. See, like, I was gonna be okay with the whole grind, but it felt like a Destiny 1.5 and a Division to me. Like how if anybody's played that through, like halfway through the first year of Destiny, there was a lot of people that left. And the same thing with, like before, I think it was actually during the first expansion of Division, a lot of people dropped because there was a lot of exploiting going on. But
I mean,
a lot of people were kind of upset that there's only like 3 strongholds and you got to play one of them in the beta. And I'm looking over the patch notes for day 1. Holy hell. Like, they even got some like high level stuff in here. I'm like, what the heck? Why? What, like,
yeah, isn't that supposed to be ready when a game launches? I mean, what?
That's a typical.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a typical thing nowadays. Texture quality. Apparently, it runs better on the PS4 Pro than it does on PC.
I haven't heard anything about that, but that don't surprise me.
It's actually the latency and the frame rates are better on PS4 than it is on the computer.
Okay, that's surprising because they gave out the specs and everything, so there might be something running in the background that the PC users ain't aware of. You know, like they had with the Nuvo and all that.
Yeah, there are already balance changes to damage numbers.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, from the little gameplay I saw, it looks like a Destiny clone. Just shoot and grind, shoot and grind, shoot and grind. Oh, boss, kill it, grind, shoot and grind.
Yeah. I mean,
You know, I've sort of decided with video games at this point. I'm gonna start treating them the same way I pick up dates in a bar. I'm gonna get your number. I'm gonna take your picture, and tomorrow morning when I'm sober, I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna call you or not.
well, with this,
There
you
you
might have to
go.
wait like a couple weeks. You know, like
That's what I'm saying. No, you're gonna
because
pull that trigger, and there's gonna be so much regret every time. You just know it now.
because why, Jay? You learned your lesson with which game?
Fallout.
I had to. But
And when the judge calls, I am so showing them on the doll where Bethesda touched me.
yeah, but that's also led into a couple other things that people are claiming that there's like even one person that got fired as a was it a game maker from EA because
Well, not just that. EA does this creators platform, and they actually blacklisted someone for giving it a negative review, although they were paying them for it.
yeah, and then,
Yeah.
and then I think as of the day it launched, they let the official reviews hit the game.
Yeah, and
And
even with the creators platform and all that, people who had an early copy weren't able to give a early review or anything like that. It was
Because
all like,
it
oh,
was running on the same exact patch as the demo was. So things were unspawning in front of you.
yeah.
Like I was saying, I was watching Lurk. He played 5 minutes with friends. One of his friends got locked in free roam, and they're like, screw this, let's go play Apex.
Yep. And by the way, I'm up to 3 wins in now.
Oh, I haven't touched it since last week, believe it or not. And I'll get to that in
It
a moment.
is. I've been
Um,
playing it all week.
But just for a quick rundown, IGN gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Metacritic 100, 61 out of 100. Google is 70%. So we're looking at probably like an average of 70, maybe a high 60%.
See, and earlier when I looked, Metacritic was at 63.
Yeah, so it's just dropping. Within probably like a week, you'd be done grinding.
Yeah.
Everybody like let's get this little footnote out of the way. Actually was on the fence of buying this. I wanted it to be good, but come on, guys, let's be real. It's another grinder. I'm not going to be able to put time in it like I did Destiny. Shoot, I barely have time to play the games I wanted to play. I'm sitting here editing stuff and trying to do my own personal stuff, but it's another grind fest, which, I mean, yeah, you get to be Iron Man, but that's about it. And it's a lot more, it's like rolling Iron Man with Division with Destiny. So,
Yeah, and not even the good Iron Man, like the bad Iron Man 2 PS2 game.
I never touched them, so that's all you. But yeah, there's a lot of like I said, the day which was today where it launched, I was able to actually find the ratings on it because they had a day one patch like every other game does, and they fixed a couple of bugs and did balance changes, which is kind of sad where you had to do balance changes to buff a lot of damage. I saw some notes in there, like one, was it, let me bring it up here, Ranger, Inferno Grenade, base damage from 130 to 175, that's 45 points more.
Christ.
Yeah. Storm, Arc Burst, secondary damage from 100 to 150. Ranger Pulse Blast base 225 to 300 now deals extra damage to shields. So
Yeah, and I want to bring up something else with Anthem too. You guys remember back in the first beta that they put out that the screenshot of the cosmetics and all that dropped for the pay market. Well, they upped the in-game currency for that and dropped the paid currency for that.
So it's not $20 to get a skin. It's now 15.
I believe it's 10 for the skins, it's 4 for the boost, and then I think it's like $3 for the patch. While in game, it's doubled in that currency.
Well, they said that they have a roadmap for the next 90
Of
days.
course they do.
His updated roadmap includes guilds and new missions, but in free play, caps your XP bonuses if you don't return to Fort Turris. I wanted this to be good, honestly. I mean, if it was good, I would have picked it up. But let's go to our panel. Jay, how much would it have to drop down for you to get this?
Got to hit the $20 bin before I'll even take a look at it.
Mike?
At least 15.
For me, it would probably have to be a repeat of Destiny 2 where I get it free for PS Plus members. I know a lot of people are upset about that too, that they paid for a $60 game and it came free on PSN.
I was never going to buy Destiny 2, but I got it free.
Yeah. Same here. I played like 5 hours of it. I'm like, nah, I'm good. So the one thing I want to spurse on, we'll take a little journey here with another Apex corner. Apparently, they're already implementing a new weapon into the game. And
Yep.
have y'all heard or seen about it?
It's in the game.
Oh, it is already?
Uh-huh.
I actually like its new mechanic. I like that. I saw a little bit of gameplay with it where you can get a different gun mod for it, and it changes the gun entirely.
Mm-hmm. And they added a whole bunch of hop-ups, too. Like, you know how they had the skull piercer and all that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they added, like, chokes and different skull piercers for different guns and just a whole bunch of little add-ons you can put on your guns now. They added a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Oh, so like it's more variety.
Oh, yeah. Like, one of my favorites guns, the Prowler.
Yeah.
They have a hop-it for that now.
Well, they had one. It's Select Fire.
Yeah. Well, now they have the Focus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a laser beam.
Oh, it's like the turbocharge. That's what you can run with the, what is it, that one energy machine gun. It just makes it rapid fire.
Oh, yeah.
But talking on Apex right now, and this is actually a topic I want to talk about last week, is that Battle Royale tournaments. Is it a good thing to do, honestly?
If they can do it LAN, then yes.
Well, here's...
But I've been to big venues with Wi-Fi and all that, and it goes quick. If you can't get on it immediately, you're not getting on it.
Well, I'm not talking so much about network connections. Well, a part of it might be network, because if you got competitors, they have to be in the same map, same server, I would say. Because the way that they did the Twitch Rivals was you just had to get points. Like you get into a random game and you get points. I don't think any of the Twitch partners even got in the same game together. But it goes more or less. It's a RNG factor to Battle Royale.
No, thank you.
And that's what I'm kind of concerned about. What can you?
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, can you really do that with a game for a tournament for money?
With Apex recently, they put in the tier system for areas, actually. And it'll tell you straight up when you enter an area if it's high tier, low tier, what have you.
Yeah, they did that at the beginning.
I didn't notice it then. Now it says it as you're entering the area.
Yeah, I think
I never noticed that.
I think they made it where every area has at least something.
Yeah. But as in like PUBG or stuff like that, the only way I can see you doing a tourney like that is if everyone who's in the tourney has been playing the game constantly since it launched and knows what patch it is. All the hot fixes are installed already, so they know how it's working. They know exactly which version of the game they're on. So it's like, okay, so I played it this way. I know this is over here and this is over here. I have to go here.
Going back for a minute and you talking about everyone getting salty because you picked up a $60 game when it was free to play with your subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually made me think of something that I noticed and wondered, which is Microsoft has announced from now on, first-party IPs will always be available from launch day on Game Pass. So you give Microsoft $10 a month, and you can check out that first-party IP and play it as much as you want as long as your Game Pass is up.
So things like EA and stuff like that, right?
Seems like PUBG specifically in this topic. Holy wow. Because didn't Microsoft support them straight up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
that'd be
what I'm
considered.
saying is they're going to turn around and, all right, their new Gears of War is coming out this year. Which Gears of War 4 was a cliffhanger. So this is the conclusion of the cliffhanger story. Now I can go out and spend $60 day one, or I can give them a $10 microtransaction, get Game Pass for a month, and play it without ever having to go buy a physical disc.
And that's pretty.
And it's not.
That's a pretty.
It's not like
idea.
I've got to go. It is, but it's not like I've even got to be connected to the internet. Game Pass lets you download the game in its entirety in the digital format onto your machine, and as long as you can connect to the internet, I think it's once a week to verify you still have the Game Pass license, you get to keep playing the titles.
And nowadays, with everything launching with a Battle Royale and multiplayer...
Yeah, is Gears of War going to go VR?
I don't think so. I have a feeling they're going to leave it the way it is. It's always had the nice co-op mode. You get a small squad, and with Gears of War, it's always just been waves, and it's been more of a wave, a wave and then a break and then a wave and then a break, and that's always been the multiplayer format unless you're actually doing multiplayer story. And I think they'll keep it that way because that's what's popular.
Yeah, and
sorry to say, the next Gears of War confirmed Battle Royale.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Why do they gotta break my toys?
They announced it last year at E3.
Well, here's the thing. Are they just going to have the weapon drops and, like, armor without the attachments? Because that would still be pretty good. And then,
I don't know. I'm not watching these videos.
What I say is, like, you think of Gears of War. What if you, with their Battle Royale, that you have their weapons without adding any attachments or anything like that? You give the people...
There usually isn't for those. You get the chainsaw gun or...
Yeah, but...
Shotgun.
One of the others, but it's just a straight-up gun. There's nothing special other than it works.
Yeah, you leave the guns as is. You don't add any, like, customization to the guns. You add the grenades, of course. You add the armor and health and all that stuff. And then you make it kind of like what Call of Duty did with the zombies, with the Zergs, or whatever they're called.
Locust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you make them you make them randomly spawn. Even have like some mini bosses in there too. You kill the bosses, you get like, some power up weapons or something like that. That'll be a pretty decent thing.
Well, the thing is, Gears of War has always been, if you want to compare it to a first person, even though it's a third person shooter, it's always been closest to Call of Duty Zombies. It's always been about waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each mission in the campaign, you run a wave of enemies, you get a break to reshore your defenses, find the health packs, whatever, and then you run the waves, and you got to run so many waves, then you have a boss battle, then you move on to the next scene. That's pretty much been the formula for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Gears of War 2, the shotgun was king.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
So-
I love the bow. I love that damn bow.
You and my brother both.
I was good
I was
with
always
it.
big for the Lancer kills.
I was good with bouncing it and killing people. I was one of those types. I was like, yeah, I can kill
There's
anybody.
nothing.
I can kill somebody with a gun, but let me do like a ricochet off a corner and stick it into your foot and you're dead.
See, in my opinion, remember we talked about going online and venting your rage of humanity's stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing so therapeutic as taking that Lancer and chainsawing somebody's face when you just had a really bad day at work to be like, ah.
And the good thing about it too is that at least I remember from, I think it was 1 or 2 that you can make it PG-13 and turn off the gore.
Mm-hmm.
And I sold
You can.
when I was working at GameStop. I did that 10 years
So you
ago.
sold your soul.
No, not really. I only worked there for like 2 or 3 months. I helped open a store, and that was about it. That was a big selling point to a lot of parents. They're like, "Well, it's rated M. Is my 10-year-old gonna be okay with this?" Like, it has some suggested violence, but there is a turn the gore off option. So, like, instead of like seeing somebody get sawed in half, you just see the animation of the chainsaw, but they just fall to the ground. Like, okay.
Right.
So maybe that needs to be like more optional lately. I mean, there's with all the BR games coming out, there's more animated violence than there are physical, like God of War violence. Because even God of War was kind of tuned down, because most of it was like trees and stuff. But when you get to the trolls,
hold on.
it was more gruesome.
Are you talking about the most recent one?
Yeah.
Oh boy, you need to get through that whole game and know
I
it
did.
was not turned down.
I did.
To me, it was not turned
I'm
down.
talking about for the smaller creeps.
Okay. Yeah, there was a finisher for each one you could do, but that got repetitive because it was just Doom style.
Yeah.
But as in like the more deviant stuff, yeah, there wasn't no 2 women at the beginning of the game. You could just go up and bang.
Yeah. Can't really do
Well-
that with a kid in the same room.
Going
Dad
back
life.
to the question though,
Dad life.
what I was getting at was how salty do you think this is going to make people that, you know, either they don't have a good enough internet connection to make Game Pass worth it or something like that. So I'm still over here paying $60 and you're paying $10 a month. And by the time you decide, hey, I really like this game, I might go buy it, that thing can be in the bargain bin for 2 months.
Yeah. And
I think you're going to find a lot of saltiness from people with that.
well, I don't know. They're going to a digital thing. They're pushing their digital so hard right now. And, you know, me being the digital person, I'm still not running over to getting an Xbox, even though like you get an Xbox One S with Anthem for the same price as a regular. I'm like, yeah, I'm good on the Xbox. Thanks, guys.
I will say, if the rumors are true, their flagship for the next gen, the flagship console is straight up online play and has no physical optical drive and almost no storage in the drive itself. It's supposed to run completely off the cloud.
Should.
I don't think we're quite to the cloud yet, just because, you know, if you live in the middle of nowhere, internet's iffy.
Mm-hmm.
But they're definitely moving away from, if you want an optical drive now, you're going to have to pay extra for it. Their base model, their flagship model, that this is the one we're saying everybody should grab, has no optical drive and maybe I think only a gig of storage on it, because it comes with a cloud drive when you get it.
Well, now they have their backwards compatibility is like you can put the game in there and it'll download it digitally or something like that. So I mean, they're moving to a digital thing. I mean, it's Microsoft. You got the Microsoft Cloud on your computers. It comes standard. But yeah, I mean, I'll give it a little time. Maybe I might move back to Xbox. I moved there with the Xbox One. Played that Ninja Assassin game we were talking about last week?
Ninja Gaiden.
No.
Oh, Tenchu.
Yeah, Tenchu. And then I remember playing the Battlefield Modern Combat with Halo 2, yeah. And then my siblings love watching me play Morrowind on that too. That was a fun game. And then PS3 came out, and took me a little bit. I was still playing Call of Duty, doing that for MLG Circuit. And then I think it was PS4 I just went hard on. Actually, a PS3 Destiny, and then I upgraded to PS4 for Destiny.
Fun fact on the original Xbox and Morrowind, that is literally the only console you can play Morrowind.
Yeah. Well, I thought you can get it on a PC.
Yes, you can, but it's
That's
the
not
only
a console.
Yeah.
At that point, they were only willing to put it out to the Xbox, and the only reason they went with it was because they're like, well, these guys are PC makers, maybe they can make something that'll handle the game. But at that point, Bethesda was very anti-console, and they weren't going to put them out for consoles.
And now look at them. They got VR console.
Microsoft kind of convinced them to change their mind on that and lean the other way. So, goddamn it, it's Microsoft's fault that we have Fallout 76. Thanks a lot.
Game Pass saves a lot of money for gamers on budget.
It does. I love it. I'll be honest.
Yeah. One of our
just
viewers
to
just commented on that.
I'm not
put
complaining
in
about it.
context,
I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I look at my value whenever each month comes out for the PlayStation Plus free games. I look at the combined what I saved versus what could have been paid for it and what I paid for it throughout the month. So
and this is a rare instance where PlayStation is falling behind, because PlayStation Now, the price point between the two, PlayStation Now isn't as worth it to me. And they're not offering as many up-to-date titles.
Well, they did this past month. They did a really good job this month.
Oh yeah, this month with For Honor
compared to 10.
Yeah, very true.
I'm not talking about PlayStation Plus. I'm talking about their version of Game Pass, where you pay your subscription, PlayStation Now, and you get to go on and play the games.
And
but they don't have as good of a library, and it's more expensive.
And most of them are like old PS3, PS2 games, and they really they don't really port that well either.
Game Pass guarantees at least 100 Xbox One games every month.
Yeah.
Just quick, you guys remember me talking about how the guy from Microsoft is going over to Nintendo? Well, I posted a little picture in the Discord chat. You guys can have a look at it. That is the dude. His name is Bowser. His last name, anyway. I didn't. Hold on, let me actually.
I see it now. He's got like Baby Bowser behind him too.
Yeah, but if you look above his right shoulder there.
Yeah, I see it. Mario and Luigi tied up.
With a GameCube controller. Yeah, hold on 1 second. I have his name right here. I just gotta find it.
But yeah, I think Xbox is doing a good job. They definitely should keep up the work and keep on going, because digital is where we're going to be moving to, and they obviously see the value in it.
Well, I would like to see PlayStation, like I said, try to compete. Honestly, if PlayStation would guarantee the first-party IPs, because they've got so many better first parties and so many more selections, if they would guarantee for their their version of Game Pass, PlayStation Now, that you'd get a couple of those every month in there, it'd be worth like $20-$30 to me because I spend a lot more on PlayStation games than I do Xbox.
Let's not talk about the other games I gotta finish, like Nathan Drake's collection.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of that one myself.
I'm think I'm like the 6th chapter in the first one. Yeah, it's gonna be a long road, especially with the game I picked up this week. Anyways, let's see. I want to talk about something, but I want to put a disclaimer out, and I know I'm going to speak for myself, but I'm pretty sure the other guys will follow. We are not, like, if you came up to me and say, hey, what do you think about this person, or that person, or this random person, I'm going to judge it off their character, personality, and how they present themselves. Not skin or race, or where they're from at all. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of different people from a lot of different places, and I'm always open-minded to help anybody first time I get them or see them or be around them. And then from there, you can only make your situation worse. So with that being said, I can definitely say that even with the circumstances going on in my life right now, I am not a woman hater, as you would say.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yes.
I'm just curious what brought this up.
If you have not heard, well, let's hear about you guys first. Mike, are you a woman hater?
Just one woman.
Which would probably be your ex, right?
Mother-in-law, yeah.
Okay, and then Jay.
My current mother-in-law. I don't have an ex-mother-in-law.
And you never will.
Everybody heard that.
And she's officially on the podcast.
Yep.
Welcome to the podcast, babe.
All right, Jay. Are you a woman hater?
Nah, man, I'm a lover, not a hater. I don't even really hate my ex-wife. I don't necessarily like the things that she does or the behavior she gets up to, but the long and short of it is, life's just too darn short to hate people, and I kind of always followed the Buddha's philosophy on that. Hatred's a poison you make yourself swallow, and it's just not worth hating people.
Well,
I don't hate anybody, gender, creed, whatever. I mean, if you're a dick to me, I'm a dick to you. You're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. That's pretty much my life.
One witch a clown says, judge them on how they enjoy pizza without pineapple. But so the reason why I bring this up is I kept on seeing stuff on my feed and on YouTube and Twitter, and it is actually about the upcoming new Marvel movie, Captain Marvel. Apparently, she's a big feminist. And she said that she wants no white males to go see her movie.
You're kidding.
Which is the big demographic of comic book people.
I was going to say, does she understand who reads comic books?
Well, I don't think she's been to a Comic-Con.
Clearly.
And I don't think she will after that statement. Jesus.
Yeah, I wonder what would Stan Lee think about that. But yeah.
He's rolling over in his grave right now, I guarantee you. Because Stan Lee's always been about
equality and inclusion.
Well,
after he died, I pointed out Stan Lee was ahead of his time in terms of social acceptance and equality. The X-Men were a thinly veiled reference for homosexuality and having AIDS. And a lot of other things. He was quiet. He wasn't preachy about it, but he took definitive stances on equality. And to hear somebody involved in one of his movies say that would make him so angry.
There are so many key issues where he is pointing out the wrongs of the world, where a certain person, sex, race, religion, creed is singled out, that he literally is like, this isn't right. Here's a superhero. He can help.
Well, yeah, and
Exactly.
that's what she's trying to make.
Hawkeye is fucking deaf, and no one knows it nowadays because of all the damn movies. But when my son first got hearing aids, he's the reason he wore them.
But going back to this, there's a
Ooh, I'm mad now. I am mad now.
Well,
Ooh.
hold on. There's a huge like
Huh?
Sound like an 80-year-old woman. I'm mad.
there's this huge thing going on where it's like a feminist movement. What is it? Thinking back, I know like was it Disney's Brave was like trying to like show like women or can do stuff on their own without men, and that was a good movie if y'all seen that.
It was a good movie. I loved it.
And I
Mm-hmm.
I saw this like guy have a seminar saying that he watched this movie and it was like, wow, this person, this story isn't about how she's relying on somebody, a male. She's doing her own thing. Then recently, there's The Incredibles 2, which everybody thought was a feminist movie as well, which I sat down and watched that with my son, and it was enjoyable and it was funny.
Haven't watched.
But I don't think it was more like, the feminists vote like everybody else was trying to pull it to. Because the plot of the movie is that they're trying to get the superheroes back into what they do without being fearful of jail time. And the way that they do it is they were having the main character, Elastigirl, be the spokesperson or the front person of that, the icon. And everybody thought, it was some kind of feminist thing. Recently, Alita Battle Angel, that was somewhat of a feminist thing too, and also apparently it was too sexy for a teenager to have a outfit or a body like that, which I didn't.
Oh
think
my
that.
god! I hope none of these freaking critics read manga ever.
Right?
I don't know. I didn't see that, but and now you have a actress, which I don't even know the name of,
I'll look it up.
but
Well,
she's
I mean, if
like,
you want to get into girl power, seriously, in the history of Disney, you had Frozen, which was really the ultimate girl power movie. I mean, the prince was the frickin' bad guy, for Christ's sake, and the girls had to kick his ass.
mhm.
But if you go back a little further, I mean, you
Brie
really want a good
Larson.
one. I think the first girl power was probably Mulan.
Yeah, and
When was the last time when you looked at the story?
I was listening to it today.
Because 7 hours ago, Brie Larson clarifies controversial Captain Marvel inclusion comments.
Oh,
Hold on. Oh, so she did some damage control. Has had to clarify some of her comments about the press.
good.
The actress is in the middle of the Captain Marvel promotional campaign. Shared a few thoughts. Oh, okay. Throughout her years of acting, the actress started to notice that there weren't too many other people other than white males who were attending the press junkets. She was talking about the press.
Oh. But it's still like going back to this. There's a huge like tree story for this. One of it's the whole feminist thing. Other one is that they keep on backtracking how much they projected to make, and it's a Marvel movie, so it'll be a win. I mean, the estimated budget was like 152 million USD, and now they went from that down to like 80 million. So
Just shared a screenshot with you.
say again.
I just shared a screenshot with you that may spread some light on this.
Okay, about a year ago, I started paying attention to what my press days look like and the critics reviewing movies, and noticed it appears to be overwhelming white male. So I spoke to Dr. Stacy Smith at the USC Armberg Inclusion, who put together a study to confirm that. Moving forward, I decided to make sure my press days were more inclusive. After speaking with you, the film critics, and a few other women of color, it sounded like across the board they weren't getting the same opportunities as others. When I talked to the facilities that weren't providing it, they all had different excuses. So I could see that having, like, there's a male instead of a female because he was not better. And that's something.
The one put on the job?
Yeah, but, like, I'm going to dip down into this rabbit hole because there's a huge touchy subject I'm about to go into, and I know people are going to love this, is that knowing my background is women in the military. There's a huge talk about it because as of the last 4 years, they've been integrating women into the infantry division of the Marine Corps. There's already been a woman that went through the infantry training. I think an officer did the same thing as well. But they're moving females into combat jobs. Now I want to break this down to combat and non-combat jobs. Now, there is a study showing that males would go out of their way to help a female in extreme situations. So she's if a female's laying on the street, need help, the male will, no matter what, go out there without hesitation and put himself in danger, which is not ideal in a lot of situations because you then will be put in the same situation as she is, and then more people will try to go and do other things. They won't think rationally.
Okay, hold on 1 second, bud. First up, that could be a whole nother subject of psychological and all that, innate instincts, stuff like that.
Exactly.
So before we deep dive into that, sorry to stop you there, I'm just going to put this out there. One, Brie Larson was talking about press people.
Mm-hmm.
We all understand that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I don't know if you know how press works, but when it's stuff like that, they're going to send the people with the most knowledge out. Okay? They're not going to send the sportscaster to cover a Comic-Con. So, straight up, if anyone wants the job of covering stuff like that, like Marvel,
they have to educate themselves,
establish themselves, more likely,
or just study on it.
Yeah, you establish yourself as the comic book nerd in the journalist's office, you're going for the comic book nerd jobs. You establish yourself as the run and gun, I gotta chase this storm, you're gonna get the forecasting job, right?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. You're not going to send the guy who has established himself as the hoity-toity recipe guy to cover the Super Bowl, because clearly that's not his shtick.
Exactly. And really, that works in almost every category of employment. If someone wants a certain job, they have to be particularly useful for that job.
They gotta work for it. They gotta earn it.
Exactly. And straight up, if you want a job, you go, you get yourself educated, you get yourself trained, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. So I don't know why.
Well, like I told you guys, I was thinking about wanting to be a forklift driver because it's something I think I can do with the disabilities that I have. But it's not like I can just walk into a factory and be like, I'm going to drive me one of them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
then cry discrimination when they're like, yeah, I don't think so.
exactly. It doesn't work like that no matter where it is in the world. So everyone wants inclusivity. Well, tell everyone to get off their ass and start doing stuff to be in part of that group.
Yeah, and that's what I was
You know?
going for with my little thing right there is that the whole psychological thing of men helping women is, and it's there. It's not going to go anywhere. As far as I don't have any issues at all with women in the military. If they can perform the same as their counterparts, their colleagues, great. I've actually worked aside of some female Marines that did a job very well and sometimes did it better than me. Was I kind of like, what is the word, like jealous about it? Maybe, but even if my male friend was better than me, I would work towards beating them. It wouldn't be any difference between a male and a female.
Jealous might not be the best word. I would say more impressed. You were impressed by what they were able to do, and you wish to emulate it.
Or even
you weren't so much jealous; it's just you wanted to reach that level
and surpass it. Yes.
I was thinking about you were talking about, and I remembered last year the first female Army Rangers graduated.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah.
And that's the thing is like if they can do the same thing, exact same thing that their colleagues are needed to do, great. But you don't lower that standard so they can.
Exactly.
You keep a standard, and if they can meet that standard, fantastic, and more power to them. But you don't change the standard because we don't have enough whatever demographic doing this. It's this demographic, if they want it, has to step up to this standard.
Yeah.
And that goes by a philosophy I work for too. If you want to go do something, you go do it, but you do that first, and that especially for like the military, you are there for the job first.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you can't meet that standard, you can't meet that standard.
And
I'm really sorry. I'm going to hell here. But you started talking about this, and my mind immediately went to A Few Good Men and Jack Nicholson's comments about women in uniform. I just realized, Danny, she's your commanding officer. Oh, that's fantastic. There's nothing hotter than a woman you have to salute. Unfortunately for me, until they promote a woman to a 3-star general, I guess I just have to take a cold shower every day.
Yeah.
All right, John.
But
I mean, I know he was being a condescending ass. It went more back to what we talked to in the beginning about finding movie quotes that went along with it, and that was the first movie quote that jumped into my head was Jack Nicholson being an ass about women in uniform.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't have any issues. A lot of my friends are in my first unit were a co unit, so we had females and males. And there was one female that ended up getting a huge back tattoo after getting out, and she became a model. There was another one that I didn't like because she always pretended that she was pregnant to get out of physical fitness. And there was another one there that somehow got a 7-tons flat stuck in mud, ran over a fence. And then there
what?
Yeah. Anyways,
you're talking a deuce and a half. What?
Yes. A 7-ton.
Oh my God!
A 7-ton for some reason went over this grass area and just went straight down into mud.
I'm sorry, but I'm saying this because my wife is here. Frickin' women drivers.
No, she ran over a fence too. But anyways, we're not making this argument any better. Thanks, there, Mike. And then the fourth one, she would sit there and make all these jokes, and she would act like one of the guys. She would sit there, she would cuss worse than we would, and she would have even worse and more degrading jokes than we would. I was like, geez. And but that's the thing, like, that was my unit. any one of those people who got hurt, I was going to take care of them. And
Well, going back to a couple shows ago when we talked about you had as much respect for first responders in the United States as you did for soldiers, because not only did we have to do dangerous jobs, but we did it with the chance of running into our families.
mm-hmm.
And I remember a very distinct time. I'm brand new. I'm a rookie in the fire department. The lieutenant I'm serving under on the truck is a female. She won Fireman of the Year. A big deal in fire companies to win Fireman of the Year. It means you made the most calls, you worked the hardest, the chiefs noticed you were the first on the scene, last off the scene, you did 110% and probably 110% more than everybody else on scene. She's the first woman in our department to win it. And they gave her a plaque that said Firefighter of the Year. And she punched the chief in the face at the awards banquet.
Hell
Then
yeah.
she goes, this is why. She goes, the hell with this PC bullshit. My title is fireman, and I worked damn hard to earn it. And just because I don't have a penis doesn't mean you change the title of my job.
Okay.
Get it?
But I'm just saying, she worked hard to be one of the boys, like the one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
She was pissed that we treated her like something that wasn't one of us.
Yeah.
Every other one of us would have wanted our plaque to say Fireman of the Year. She did not want a different plaque. She worked hard for that title. She earned that title, and she was going to have it.
Yeah.
And that's just it. She was a fireman.
And then,
that is the traditional title of our job, and that is what she wanted.
And then the last point of this whole Marvel thing is, and I want to put it in perspective for us, is the review bombing, which I don't know how you can review something that is not out. But out of the three of us, Jay, are you going to go see Captain Marvel?
No, but I didn't plan to see it to begin with. It's never been one of my favorite heroes. I mean, she's all right. She has some cool powers, but she's never one of my favorites. That was one of those, I'm going to grab it when it hits Redbox.
All right. Mike.
It has nothing to do with this article. It didn't change my mind. It's just where I was.
Mike, are you going to go see the movie?
No. I mean, I don't like Captain Marvel as a superhero, male or female form, because he's had both.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I probably will go see it. It's a superhero movie, and I don't know much of the character, so why not go look at a movie that might explain it a little bit, maybe, even though it's been rebooted like 8 times. But that's the thing, is like you go to Rotten Tomatoes, they'll gather the people that say, yes, I'm going to go see it, or no, I'm going to go see it, and they average that out and put it in a review, and then people take that as a review of the movie. It's like, no, it's a demographic.
if you put Captain Marvel with the full Nova Force, because I love the Nova Force.
Mm-hmm.
I might go see that movie, but till then, no. Because, yeah, I mean, why?
I mean, there is
a superhero movie coming out I'm excited for, though. It's just not Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like a lot of people. I don't know the story of it, and from what I've heard, it's been rebooted 5 times in the last 7 years.
Yep.
I don't know anything but what I can go grab my encyclopedia about and read about. That's the only thing I would know about it. And
in fact, you know what? I'm gonna floor you. It's a DC movie. I'm excited coming out.
what was it? Let me guess. Shazam.
Yep, I always loved Shazam. I thought he was one of the coolest heroes.
You know that's a Captain Marvel, right?
Pretty much.
It's a Captain Marvel ripoff. Yes, it is.
But no, that's what he's called.
He was, yes. And they had to change his name, and they got into a huge issue over it. And that's why they started calling him Shazam.
Yeah.
And that's why that other character was created, because DC created Captain Marvel first. That was Shazam.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Marvel Comics sued because they said, you're using our name. You can't do that. They won, but the judge gave them the caveat that if they wanted to not have that character used again, they had to create and copyright a Captain Marvel, and that's where that one came from.
See, and there's a screenshot of Captain Marvel in the Nova outfit. So there you
Yeah.
go, there, Mike. But just looking up.
I mean, he was in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Okay.
I'm not even joking. He was in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He was one of the better characters.
I don't remember that. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Looking up right now, a user rating of 16,847. 53 of them, 53% want to see the movie. So, I mean, like I said, I probably will go see it. Just to, keep the timeline going, and also find out which story arc they're going to go with. I mean, I didn't like how they went with Spider-Man 2 and 3 after I see the first one, but I still want to go see it.
Right.
Come on, you gotta support Tobey Maguire.
Not the wrist shooter. God.
But again, like I said, my desire to go or not go with Captain Marvel had nothing to do with this press release or any of that. I had made this decision back when they said they were making it, and I'm just like, my first thought was, well, which frickin' Captain Marvel is it going to be? Because they hadn't released which one it was going to be yet.
Yeah.
And I knew there was a ton of them. And then I was like, well, it's a lot of lore and continuity to get back into. It's not one I read as a kid. I just don't think I'm going to go see it. And it had nothing to do with what gender it was or any of that. It's just, it's not one I was into.
And there's a lot of people saying that too. They're not familiar with the character, but they're also like put in the same category as like Black Panther, which they try to throw the whole race thing down your throat apparently.
And I didn't plan to go see Black Panther, but we turned it into a date night with another couple friends we got. So
I heard it was a good
went
movie.
and saw
I haven't
that.
seen it yet, but I heard it was
You
good.
haven't seen it? It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I haven't actually paid my Netflix bill in like 2 months because I've been more about.
I'm
Hulu
just
lately.
gonna tell you straight up. In my mind, it is the best black exploitation film of the 2000s.
Dude, it's
Nice.
well, it's a good movie though.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's
But to
But the
me,
memes that I got out of that movie, holy wow.
yeah, we all know.
never
you like
mind.
your memes.
Never mind Ryan Reynolds in the CGI suit. We're not even going there. But
Oh,
when
you
they
mean
announced,
Pikachu?
no, when they announced the Green Lantern movie, you had the same thing because Green Lantern has the same problem Captain Marvel does. Which Green Lantern is it? Which era of comics are we talking?
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people got that, and so many people were like, "Well, Hal Jordan's a good one because he's the most famous." But
John
if you're trying to
Stewart's the best though.
well, I was gonna say, if you're trying to get the younger audience, you want John Stewart. That's who they know because they had the Justice League cartoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's
you had
why-
all these arguments over who's the best, and this is what I saw happening with Captain Marvel. There's just been so many people to wear that mantle, and I'm like, I'm not even going to get into it. And Green Lantern is one I read, and I'm familiar with the different lanterns, going all the way back to Alan Scott when wood was the weakness of the ring and all that other nonsense. And I'm like, okay, I was excited for it. You guys really botched it with the CGI suit, and we're just not going there, like I said. But it was another one of those same things. You just had so much information to work with, and it's so hard when they pick a hero like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's with any movie. I mean, one of my least favorite Marvel movies is Punisher Warzone. And the way I told people about that is
Okay.
you take Punisher and you put him in the Gears of War.
Oh, I've seen it. I'm just Mike. I didn't think it was bad.
It wasn't bad, but me being a Punisher fan, that wasn't really. That was. It was.
There's been so many Punisher movies, and most of them were passable at best. The series came the closest to nailing the essence of the Punisher, and the movies were just like.
You mean the 3 movies they've had with 3 live action movies? Yeah.
I thought there was 4.
There was
But
3
I thought
live.
they tried to. tried to do one in the 70s, and that one didn't do any better.
Yeah, that's one I was talking about. And then you have Thomas Jane, and then you had the War Zone. Then you had an animated one with Black Widow and Iron Man. And then you have the Netflix ones, which are actually the Netflix ones are probably the best, which you guys probably still haven't seen.
I went through the first season. I just haven't seen the second one yet.
Yeah. And you haven't seen season 2 of Daredevil either.
Yes, I did. I watched that.
So you know why now, because the Punisher's been canceled. But we all know where that's going. That's all going
I was going to say, I agree with you. I don't think it's canceled. I think it's more on hiatus until Disney can move their IPs over to their channel.
Yeah. They better.
I think what they're going to end up doing is, this is kind of a bid to alleviate people being mad at the whole Disney Channel in the first place, is they're canceling all these IPs that belong to them now. And then they're going to go, but look, don't hate us. We're resurrecting them over here.
Well, hopefully resurrecting with some of the same actors, actresses.
Well, one would hope, yeah.
I mean, we still got Jessica Jones season 3 to look forward to. But we all know that's going to be canceled afterwards.
Yep, they already stated it would be.
Jessica Jones has a soft spot in my heart, though, because it has an actor that played my favorite Doctor in Doctor Who in it, so how could I not like that one?
Yeah, the season 1 was pretty good. I like that.
David Tennant was my favorite actor to play the Doctor, in all honesty, so that's how I found Jessica Jones, was I found out he was in it, so I jumped on it.
I'll be honest, I like the new Doctor.
The girl?
Yep, she is really good. She has 3-ish companions. I'm just saying that because they kind of drop in and out and not really too focused on them. But yeah, she's fun.
I haven't seen her yet. I only watch it on DVD. I have everything from Eccleston back during the original revival all the way up to the end of Capaldi's run. But because they haven't released hers in a set yet, I don't have any of hers.
Okay, when it comes out, you need to watch it, man. It's good.
You know, but again, I've never been one to hate a new Doctor either. If you understand how it works, you understand the Doctor's going to change.
Oh, yeah.
I was bummed when Tennant left, but I'll be honest, Matt Smith kind of stole my heart as the Doctor because I feel bad. Fans hated him and they didn't. They just weren't really sure how to take him. But he was one of my favorites. He's in my top 3 favorites for Doctors because once he hit his stride, he did good. And I'll be honest, my daughter's name is Amelia after his first companion. That's how much I like that Doctor. I named her for his companion.
Hey, real quick, the person that mentioned the Game Pass saves a lot of money at the beginning when we were talking about it is is Mikey's brother. He's he's in chat with us right now.
Hi, Joey.
Well, he's not wrong. And the other thing that Microsoft does right with that is every month or so, Game Pass goes down to like $1 for a month. So every time I'm turning around, it's $1 or it's $2 to get a month's worth of Game Pass. So they're pushing it. They're pushing it hard. The price is right. And if you have an external hard drive for your Xbox, you get your money's worth.
Yeah. And what he was saying is that, going back to what I was saying about the Punisher, he said Warzone was straight action but bad story, and series is the best, although Thomas Jane did a good prologue. So the Netflix, the Netflix was the best, but the one with Thomas Jane had a good prologue.
Now, straight up, you want to talk to a Punisher nerd?
Yeah,
my brother in the chat.
That's what he was saying. He says, "Ask Mikey. I'm a big Punisher fan."
I went to Chicago for the fighting game tournament 2014, and I brought him back Punisher versus Santa.
Nice.
The comic book. So that's a little insight to how big of a Punisher nerd he is.
I can't remember why it stuck with me, but the one Punisher movie I liked the best was, and I can't remember which one it is anymore. His family died, obviously. He winds up living in a slum flat that used to be a factory, and he's got the 2 gay neighbors, and they torture his neighbors to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Thomas one.
That's the Thomas Jane one.
That one was pretty good. I thought the scene where he uses the popsicle and the steak was really creative.
Yeah. And it brings back to, I actually enjoyed the game that came from that. That was a really enjoyable game for me. The one on Xbox where you can actually like torture people and stuff. What?
Yep, you and my brother. Go for it.
No, I'm good after that. But I'm just saying, like, that was one.
So when's your brother gonna hop on and chat with us?
He's not a dad yet.
Yeah.
Before I say get on that, he's not like 14, is he?
Holy fish moly. I just looked at the scores for that movie. Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Not good?
Ouch.
It's a 29 in Rotten Tomato, a 33 in Meta, and a 6.5 on IMDb, but 90% on Google.
Yep.
And see, do you know what I say about ones like that? That's that guilty pleasure movie. That's that one that everyone said it was crap, and you sit down and watch it anyway.
Not really. From I don't remember where I heard it from today. Is that now if you go and look at a review on a movie, if the critics don't like it but the audience love it, go see it. It's probably a good movie.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you remember. You guys are gamers, so you know what Escapist is, the website.
Yep.
And I don't know if you remember the controversy with Movie Bob or not.
But yeah.
One of the things Movie Bob tells you, and I still listen to him because he still puts out videos, and I don't really care what his stance on other stuff is. I listen to him for his reviews. Is don't just judge a movie good or bad by what a critic says, because movies aren't usually made to make critics happy.
Exactly.
And most critics are elitist film snobs that, it's got to be this, this, and this. And his stance on it is sometimes a good movie is just somewhere you can sit down for 2 hours, shut your brain off, and go, hell yeah, this was fun. It doesn't have to be mind-altering or genre-bending. It's just got to be something that was worth the cost of sitting in that seat. And even liking him and liking his reviews, there's times where him and I disagree 100% on a movie. I loved it, and he was like, this was the crappiest piece of crap that ever crapped. And I was like, well, that's the thing about opinions. They're subjective. Enjoy.
Well, it's like, I have a guilty pleasure movie, too, that everyone else seems to hate. And that's Final Fantasy, Spirits Within.
Oh, dude, I love that movie.
It's so good. Like, it brings Gaia into the forefront.
The other thing is, I love the old horror movies that are full of schlock and cheese. You know what I mean? The ones that are
I know
so
exactly
campy,
what you mean.
The ones that are so campy, you feel like you should be eating s'mores while you're watching them.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. They're just so bad, but they're so much fun to watch. Like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Perfect example.
Critters.
Such a dumb. Oh God, Critters! I love Critters. they're so dumb, but it's the epitome of shut your brain off and go, yeah, that was a good time.
But yeah, most of the time, especially nowadays, with the people being wine asses and shattering easier than ice glass, you gotta go more by what you like than what people say. And it's one of those things, don't knock it till you try it.
Well, and I'll be honest, I'm the same way with games. My opinion on a game is if I can get, say, 5 hours of enjoyment out of a game, and remember, I told you guys before, I tend to bargain hunt. I don't spend more than $20 on my entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get 5 hours for my $20, that was a well-spent $20. I don't care if every other critic on the planet hated the game. I got 5 hours of enjoyment out of it. My $20 was well spent. If I get replay value out of it, that's even better.
Now, I forget who it is, but there's more money being dumped into a game. Call of Duty's getting loot boxes.
Jeez.
You know, you
Yeah.
think they would stay away from that with all of the scandals that have happened with loot boxes over the last couple of years.
I actually thought about this earlier, and it's one of those things that everybody's like hates. Like we hate you, but Mike, good example. You hate loot boxes, right?
If they're for like actual items that help in the game, yes. And I've seen it way too many times to be like, okay, no, it's just a one-off thing. It's happened a lot.
But and this is the epiphany I came across of. Wouldn't loot box for a video game be the same thing as you going to the store and buying a pack of TCG Pokemon cards?
Yep. And even in some places, that's considered gambling.
So that kind of dawned on me. It's like I used to do that with Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's the same thing. You're paying money for a box that has some items that are random. You could get gold or you could get crap.
Yeah, exactly. It's paying money for a chance.
The only difference with video games, I'm not sure if it's Call of Duty, but I know for a fact, like Apex, you can't get duplicates. But in TCG, you definitely get duplicates all the time.
Oh, guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can even get duplicates in Overwatch, but they give you extra if you do.
Yeah. It's like some other games, they give, you can break them down and use them as extra stuff to get other stuff that you can't get, or like they break them
like
down.
Battlefield 1. If you do get stuff you don't want, you can turn it into the in-game currency to buy more loot boxes, see if you can get what you want.
Yeah,
And you can repeat that process.
Just like
You know who? I think Nintendo does the loot boxes the best.
Nintendo has loot boxes? What?
Sort of. You got to hear me out on this and follow the logic.
Okay.
Every single amiibo I have, and I collect amiibo. I have cards, I have figures. And the best game to use as an example is the newest Zelda, the new Legend of Zelda that's out for the Switch.
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild?
Yes. Every single amiibo, you can scan into that game, and it will drop a treasure chest at your feet that will have, at the very least, food items for you to cook to make health restorative or stamina restorative potions and stuff. And at the best, you can get Link's costume from the old games. You can get Epona to ride for a 24-hour span in game. You can get certain weapons from the old games. And it's randomized based on what figure you have. For example, only Link figures will drop Link's old uniforms.
Ooh.
Only Zelda figures will drop certain other things. But you can scan Bowser or Isabelle or any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's just like Super Mario World Maker. You can scan those in and you can get that character in that and use them.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds actually pretty awesome. But no,
But that, I think, is a good system. And you don't have to buy any amiibos or ever scan an amiibo into the game to win the game. You can 100% beat the game without ever needing anything that those amiibos give you. They just give you some cool stuff to add.
That's just it. If you have to include a chance at getting a game-breaking item into a loot box, don't do it. It should only, and this is just me, I don't know if you guys agree, it should only be cosmetic items.
Yeah. Honestly, it shouldn't be any, like...
I mean, FIFA has that team whatever where you have to go in, team builder or whatever, where you have to go in and you get a chance at getting like all those high league characters or people to play on your team and stuff like that, and you only get a chance at them, but you're still going for the better people.
Well,
right.
Well, think about that, like League of Legends. You spend time in the game, you get in-game currency, and you unlock people that you want to play as. Now, that person might not be the meta or might not be the best, but it's what you're going to pick to play.
Mm-hmm.
You can either spend time in-game to get the in-game currency, or you can buy them with real money.
Yeah, I'm just so over loot boxes getting thrown into everything. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's what I mean. And in Breath of the Wild, aside from managing to get a couple of swords or shields that look like something, they're still just as breakable as every other weapon in the game. The only weapon in the game that doesn't break is your Master Sword. And even that has a break mechanic because it runs out of energy and has a 2-minute recharge where you can't use it. So everything follows that mechanic. All you're really getting is skins. Oh, I can have Link's costume from the Wind Waker or from Ocarina of Time. I can ride Epona, who acts just like every other horse in the game. It just looks like Epona. So all they really did was skin something else out and go, here's some skins because you're nerds and you were stupid enough to spend $12.50 a figure on our stupid figures. So here, now it's worth something.
Well, even then, you have a figure that you can have displayed in your house, office, wherever, or your kids can.
I mean, yeah, it's not even like I have Batman looking
They're
at me
shelf
right
candy
now.
For me. I love having them. They're cool. I go out of my way to collect my favorite characters. You guys know I love Animal Crossing. I actually, at Five Below, just found a set that got me KK Slider is a dog that plays music in each game. But the only way to get him was in a very specific set. Nobody had it. And I ran into it at Five Below the other day. And you're damn right I dropped the $5 on it because I've been trying to find this figure since they announced its release. And again, it was one of those, I found it in the middle of nowhere, and yes, I grabbed it.
And it's just like, yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I've got a couple of the Pop Funko things behind me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them. And they're select characters of, like, what I like. Like, there's League of Legends, X-Men, the Joker from Batman, the second one.
Dark Knight.
Yeah. Arkham Knight, 2 Punishers, a Cable, Archangel, Deathstroke from Arrow, a Punisher from the Daredevil, and Oryx from Destiny. So, and then I got some League of Legends figures. So I don't have much, but you know, this is something I like. I'll spend a little money on it. I mean, there's one thing I want to buy, but I'm not going to drop that kind of money on it.
I want to.
Go ahead, man.
Well, I'm going to change the subject.
I've got a small hutch that I rescued. You know, it was just a salvage. I paid nothing for. The entire inside where the dishes would go is filled with Skylanders. And then the bottom shelf is Amiibos, and on top of the hutch is all the Disney Infinity characters. And again, I didn't necessarily, with the exception of Skylanders, I buy whichever ones I find on sale because they're all good for the game. With Nintendo and Disney Infinity, they're all the characters I like and I've hunted down and collected. I didn't go specifically with, oh, this works in the game, so I'm getting it. It's, I have the Star Wars set, the Marvel set, some of the Disney characters that I specifically liked. But again, I went through with a mind of, these are characters I like, these are ones I want to collect. So it's shelf candy as well as a toy for the game.
God, I would.
All right.
Oh.
Since we're on the subject, I'm gonna bring this up. Since we're on the subject of quote unquote toys, as most people would call them, I was thinking back the other day, and I noticed a weird trend. Oh, that's fucking boss.
It's $500.
Nope, it could stay there. But I babysat for a lot of our friends and stuff like that here. And I noticed a trend in boys and girls gaming. Girls are hella violent. Like, I sit boys down, they want to play Minecraft, they want to go play Trials, stuff like that. But every time I had a girl here, they like popped in Mortal Kombat or Injustice and wanted to break people's necks.
Oh, yeah.
Are they age appropriate to be playing that?
Uncle Mike does not hold back from kids when it comes to game because I like to teach the point of, you know, it's a video game. That's just what it is. It is something you play. You do not do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll teach that to my son.
But it's like, why are girls so much more violent when it comes to video games?
I think it's honestly like them. Like, just a personality. I had to back my son away from playing too much of Super Smash Brothers Melee for the GameCube, and so now like we probably spend like 30 minutes maybe a night, maybe on Rocket League. But he'll watch me play some other games. But when I notice it's starting to get too violent, I'll be like, hey, either um, I stop playing or he stops watching. But this was like months and months and months ago. But now, like, I'll only play video games when he's in bed.
No,
Wait.
I don't think it's personality because this has happened on multiple occasions with many different children. Like I said, I am Uncle Mike to pretty much all our friends' kids.
Yeah, I got the
So,
same
like-
thing. I'm Uncle Jay to so many kids that aren't blood related to me, but they're still my nieces and nephews.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of kids, especially the boys, will be like, "Ooh, you got Minecraft? Ooh, you got a racing game?" And they'll go play that. Whereas the girls, like, they see the Mortal Kombat cover and they're like, "Ooh, what's that? Would you mind if I play that a bit?" And the next thing I know, I'm getting my ass stomped by a little girl.
Because you're trying to take it easy on her, or she actually is better than you?
Well, of course, I'm taking it easy on them, but that's not the difference. They're hitting me with everything they can muster.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I have noticed it, my daughter loves watching the games where I'm actively, she doesn't play yet. She's only going to be 4 next month. She likes to watch the games where I'm actively fighting, where there's battle. Her favorite thing is if she walks in the room and I've got Skyrim on and I'm fighting a dragon. She will sit and watch me battle that dragon. As soon as the battle's over, she's lost interest. She doesn't care about the dungeon crawls, the cave exploring. She wants to watch the epic battles.
Yeah, when I had my PlayStation out in the living room where my desk was, I was playing Soul Calibur, and he would watch me play that. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit violent. There's some suggested outfits in this game. Let's not let you watch this.
Let's not explain to mom why you went through puberty at 7, okay? No.
Yeah. And like One Clown brought up my brother. Last Action Hero was an important life lesson to me. That's one of those Arnold Schwarzenegger movies where it wasn't really a mainstream movie for him, but it was still a big impact.
Oh, I love that movie. That's another guilty pleasure. It got such bad reviews,
not just that,
but it's so fun.
It teaches the difference between movies and real life.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the core element of that movie. And it's like
the scene where he shoots the trunk of the car. Here's another explosion for your movie, kid. And all that happens is the bullet ricochets off the trunk and does nothing.
Exactly.
And then,
But
it also teaches the whole obsession about toys. Because I think that was the same year Furby and Tickle Me Elmo came out, right?
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, it's like, if you sit with them while a game is going on, they can play whatever, as long as you keep telling them, like, hey, what do you think about this situation? What do you think about that? Like, I ain't gonna let them touch Bloodborne. Hell no, that's nightmare fuel. But, just a little dad advice for everyone. If you are with your kid, there is almost no game they can play except what you deem unplayable. Just because you can give them the context of this is violence in a video game. It ain't real.
I'm actually going to steal a meme from you there, Mike. That's all good and said until you put a VR headset on them and put the Resident Evil Biohazard on it.
Well, that's where you tell them you're playing Clifford's Big Adventure. And then you like, haha.
And that's when they learn the lesson of you got to watch out for yourself and don't trust people.
So did y'all hear Google's coming out with a game with pretty much a console later this year, apparently?
A console? I know they were testing a cloud service, they were doing the.
I think that's what it is. I think they're coming out with a Steam box almost.
Well, they were.
Why not? Everybody else is doing it.
They were testing out Assassin's Creed Odyssey when it first came out with the
Oh, I didn't know that.
streaming platform. Yeah, they not sure what it was called, but there was somebody testing out that you could play Assassin's Creed Odyssey on Chrome.
Oh, that's cool. A browser? Well, that would be amazing. Like,
But-
that brings me back to old RuneScape days right there.
There was, it was. I think it was actually the guys at the Dad and Son podcast that were looking at it, and he got a early access, kind of like what is it, like a tester, but he was finding some issues with it. Like it was
Well-
skipping a lot and whatnot, but
I just keep hearing that later this year it's coming out, and it's like Google ain't denying it.
yeah, well, of course not, because they want some of that what was it called?
Fortnite money.
Not Fortnite. I want to say Fortnite, but I was gonna say like stockholders. There you go. That's the word.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, let's not forget when gaming revived after the ET fiasco in the late '80s, early '90s. You know, Nintendo's putting out a console and stuff. They predicted that this wasn't going to last a decade, and so many tech companies stayed away from it because of it. I mean, look at how long it took Microsoft to get into the game because it was a fad. It wasn't going to last. There was no point in putting money into it. We'll go on to the next big thing. Well, these companies are starting to look back and go, crap, it wasn't a fad. This is sticking around, and we're losing money and revenue because we didn't jump on this. So I'm not surprised you're seeing more Me Too, Me Too. And then they have some really great examples, like when Apple tried to get into it, and, well, this is exactly how we don't do this. So
I mean, just look
not
at the
surprised
Ouya.
We're going to see more.
I'm actually having some fun lately on YouTube because Little Majin's streaming and uploading stuff lately too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you know what I'm really sad didn't really make a good impact, and I wish it had, was the Steam box. It was a good idea, but they just didn't want to put the price point where it was worth having.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Like the ability to sit down and say, okay, yes, I'm a PC gamer, but it'd be great to throw my Steam games up on a 55-inch screen and really enjoy it with a machine that's capable of rendering that. But the Steam box was always like $400, and well, for $200 I could get an Xbox and play most of the games you're going to have on Steam. So why am I going to spend $400 for your thing?
True.
I hear you.
Not to mention, most people that were serious PC gamers, back when having an Alienware actually meant something besides I called Dell, had, the Alienware or the home-built thing that they spent thousands of dollars on. So a $400 box was nothing to them because they had this giant monstrosity of a custom rig they built. But to me, that really would have been a good step forward. And I think it would have put some good pressure on the console markets to really put out good games and good equipment instead of the crap they've been giving us lately.
I can't complain about my PS4 Pro.
I'm not so much complaining about the hardware anymore. Most of the kinks have been worked out. But let's not forget the original Xbox caused house fires, stuff like that. We had some
Yeah,
hiccups.
PS3 didn't have security, pretty much.
Xbox,
Exactly.
Xbox 360, Red Ring of Death.
Again, there's some
Yeah.
salt there. I was trying to avoid that one.
Let's see. Actually,
My buddy went through 6 in 2 years.
actually, two biggest things were the Xbox 360
Yeah,
not having
definitely.
a built-in Wi-Fi, like the PS3 did,
Oh, I remember that.
and then
They rectified that fast, though. By the time the Slim came out, they had it.
yeah, but that took how many years? I mean,
2 or 3.
3.
how many people bought that little adapter?
It's now
I know my
$2
friend
at
did.
GameStop, and they have 100 of them.
Yeah, I've got one here with my red Resident Evil 5 360 edition, which was the last one to include a HDMI cable. But I remember my friend having issues with his Xbox 360 because of Halo 3, and he sent his Xbox off 10 times to get fixed. And come to find out, it was his hard drive. And
Wow.
they did not know a single thing how to fix it. I was like, hey, let's just try this hard drive. And they're like, yeah.
Well, I told you guys my buddy went through 6 in 2 years. You want to know why? The guy smoked more than
Hardy.
a chimney at that point in his life.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, because Microsoft was trying to gain points, they would take back a broken Xbox for anything. But apparently his Xboxes were so caked with tar inside, because he was that one that would sit and chain smoke as he gamed, that he was shorting out his own Xboxes. I don't think he ever got one that would have red ringed if he would have just pushed pause and gone outside for a cigarette.
Yeah, but it's just like any other system. It takes a couple versions to get better. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 versions of the PSVR now, but there's still not good enough games to get it. I mean, I was about to get one for my son, and it's like it came down to, does he need it, and then what games could he play on it?
Biohazard.
I think unless I was a reviewer and somebody was paying, I can't ever see a position where I'd want to be an early adopter on a video game console. I want to
Exactly.
let that thing be out for maybe a year, get the bugs out, maybe wait for the second generation of it, because you know that the first one they released is not the original.
Or
I'm
even,
still sitting on the fence post with the Switch, because I know as soon as I buy one, they're going to be like, oh, hey, we're releasing this one now.
yeah, because it'll be better on controls and stuff. I've heard about it. But actually, it's the same thing with games now. You have to wait. You have to wait to buy something because it might not be good. You might have to wait 3 or 4 weeks for it to get a good patch.
You know, now if I worked for a game review site or I wrote game review articles and the company I'm working with is going to buy me it, sure, I'll sit down and tell you how crappy this thing is day one.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going to sink my money into it, I'm going to wait.
Yeah, I mean, you've had to wait how long there, Jay, and Fallout 76 is still not good?
Oh, you're just going to keep rubbing that wound, aren't you?
And what's the current price?
It's you go on PlayStation's full price.
Yeah, online it's full price. Most stores it's down to about half price. And I told you guys today, I saw somebody online, they had a digital code that came with a system they bought, and they were trying to sell it for $20, and I had jumped on and warned them. I'm like, unless you're going to pay somebody to take it, that is not the code to try to be selling.
Oh, all right. So I think with that little bit of teasing, I think we should probably call it good. We're at overtime now.
Extended moments.
Sorry, Jay. I know you were going on a little rant there.
It's all right. I actually did have one more thing before we go, because I'm pretty sure it's going to hit before our next show. And I just wanted to know predictions for the Pokemon announcement, because you know that's coming up.
Oh,
You're predicting that it's going to be Pokemon Day.
Before
it's going to be Pokemon Day. Oh, go for it. Go for it.
You answer your question. Pre-owned Best Buy at GameStop is $40 for Fallout 76, and it came out November 14th.
Wow. Yeah. Pokemon Day, February 26th. It's going to be Pokemon Sword and Stone. And so far, that's all I actually know because of stuff like that. But yeah, so I will have a full list of stuff that they mouth off.
Oh, I was actually looking for predictions. What do you think is going to happen? I want each of us to say one prediction and see how close we get.
Good luck with John. He don't know Pokemon.
No, that was like 15 years ago.
No, I think they might switch up the starters, but that's going to be about it. It's going to be Gen 8. We have no idea fully what it is.
My prediction, honestly, is I feel like they're going to try and incorporate Pokemon Go somehow.
Oh, you know damn well they are.
Maybe scanning the cards or putting the codes.
Pokemon Go is the phone version.
Yeah.
Everybody goes around. And so far, they haven't found a way to incorporate it into the games to make everything talk. But I'm really thinking that's going to be the big reveal with this one, is that what you're doing in Pokemon Go is going to somehow impact what's going on in the game. I think that's what they've been trying to build towards. They've been trying to get the two games to get closer and closer and more similar with each time they put something out, each time they put out a patch or anything, they're trying to make them similar. And that's my big thing, is I think that's going to be the big reveal. With the Switch being the home and mobile hybrid, I feel like that's going to have to be where their next big jump's going to be.
Well, I'll tell you straight up, I'm going to be watching on probably multiple platforms February 26th at the Pokemon Direct. Also, prediction for that's going to be where they introduce this Bowser guy as the head of Nintendo America.
That would make the most sense.
Wouldn't it? All right, but yeah. That's going to be it for me, guys.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming in and watching us talk about some gaming news and little rants in here and there. But as always, we'll be back next week with another episode of the podcast. And you'll be able to catch me here shortly streaming some Red Dead Redemption 2 again. Been playing that.
Of course.
I've honestly only done one mission in a chapter 2, and I've been like running around trying to kill stuff. It's like Grand Theft Auto worse, because you have to manage your person a lot more now. So I'm going to try to get some more time on it and get a better understanding of the game and see if it actually was worth the money I spent. But as far as me, I appreciate... What was that, Jay?
Before we sign off, as usual, because we've kind of been doing it at the end, if any dads need help, because this is kind of our therapy session along with anything else,
and God,
just remind everybody where they can find everyone if they need an ear or somebody to talk to. You can always find me on Facebook, or you can always find me under Crypt Nurse on Xbox or Nightingale J on PlayStation. What about you two?
Mad Mikey pretty much everywhere. The Mad Mikey on Twitter, the Mad Mikey on PlayStation, and just look up the Mad Mikey on Facebook. You'll find me.
My Twitter handle is K686Mayor. You find also my Facebook group there for my streaming, but we also have a Dad Life and Gaming podcast, a Facebook group. You can come in there and you can be anonymous, send a message and just say, hey, like, I just need somebody to talk to. You can do that. We are part of a couple of dad groups on Facebook. They're really nice. But like I said, we're all here. We actually help each other out. I mean, this week I needed freaking therapy the most. Dude, it's been a bad week for me, and I'm just glad it's Friday. And this whole weekend, I can stay home and do nothing but what I want to do with, my gaming. If my son was here, I would play all day with him with his Hot Wheels. But it's just going to be a quiet reset for me for this week, especially with it being the end of the month. Ugh. But
all right.
I appreciate everybody coming in. We'll be back next week for our another therapy session. Until then, thank you again. Bye.
Happy gaming, guys.